Hey everybody. I know I haven't done a video in quite a while. I'm going to do one today catching up with you guys because I'm just sitting around taking it easy until my husband gets home from work later this afternoon. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning working around the house. Let me pivot this and see if you can see my pile of boxes. Yeah. I have been going through... now, let me see if I can sit this back up. Okay. I've been going through the hall closet, getting boxes of decorations, holiday decorations out, and going through them and deciding what we're keeping and what we're getting rid of. And, separating those out. So, what's been going on in my life? Two big things, health-related and housing-related. Health-related, I had been feeling bad since the end. You're going to have to pardon me. I'm going to be pawing at my face the whole time because of all the dust I've kicked up today. I started feeling bad towards the end of last year, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And finally, just within the past month, I ended up, I knew it was autoimmune related. I was having autoimmune flare-ups, and they were more severe and more frequent. And I was putting off going to the doctor because I couldn't get in before the end of last year. And come the 1st of January, we have high deductible health insurance, so our deductible reset itself, and it is the way our policy works. We pay the first several $1,000s out of pocket, and then the insurance company pays the rest of it for the rest of the year. Well, to go to see the doctor, like if you're sick, just for a consultation, that's $100 to $200 that's we can handle. But when you're getting into like lab work, that can get into thousands of dollars at once, and we just really weren't prepared to pay for autoimmune lab work. When you go to a rheumatologist to get lab work done to check on that kind of stuff, I hadn't been in a while, so they wanted to do the whole panel, which is like 12 tubes of blood. It's extremely expensive. It's several $1,000s. And, yeah. So I'd been putting it off, and my neurologist said, you need to get this addressed. You're putting yourself at risk for another stroke. You have to get this addressed. Because it turns out what caused me to have a stroke and a TIA was a severe autoimmune flare-up caused a bout of vasculitis coupled with extreme low blood pressure readings caused the blood flow to back up just long enough to form a tiny clot, and that's enough to cause a stroke or a TIA. So the neurologist said, we've got you on the Plavix and the baby aspirin to help thin your blood and keep it free flowing. But if you have a severe enough flare-up and a severe enough bout of vasculitis, you're going to have another stroke. So he said, you've got to get this autoimmune stuff under control. And so we sucked it up, and I went to the doctor, and it turns out, after all the lab work was said and done, my autoimmune stuff is in a very active phase, and I was at risk for another vasculitis episode. So they put me on a medication to help control the autoimmune disease. This medication called Plaquenil, and I've been taking that. I'm on week 4 of it now, and it has made so much of a difference so far. I still feel horrible, but compared to what I was feeling a month ago, there were days that I was so out of it. I was sleeping 16 hours a day, and I was in so much pain with body aches. I was having to use a cane to hobble from room to room at the house. I just wasn't leaving the house. I wasn't doing anything. I had brain fog. I was just fatigued and out of it. I just had no quality of life. But I've been on the Plaquenil for 3 weeks and a day now, and I'm starting to feel a lot better. Like Monday, Tuesday, and today, I didn't take a nap. I slept 10 hours all 3 nights, but I haven't had to take a nap. and I've been able to get stuff done. I haven't been hobbling from room to room. The body aches are almost, they're not almost gone, but they're a lot better. The brain fog is a lot better. I'm able to concentrate. I'm able to motivate myself to do things and get stuff accomplished. So I feel a lot better. I just, I shouldn't have put it off as long as I did, but I'm not going to get into a huge ranting tangent about the American healthcare system, but man, when you're faced with that high deductible, it's like, do we want to drain, because we have something also called a health savings account, but a lot of that had been depleted from when I had been in the hospital. And we hadn't had time to build that back up to cover our deductible yet. And, it gets into, do you want to like really dip into your savings account? It's like, what is the lesser of two evils, living with the health issue or depleting your emergency fund? And once the neurologist said, you're putting yourself at risk for another stroke, we decided this is an emergency. So we did it. And I shouldn't have waited that long, but, I hate that we did, but it is what it is. And until we're able to get better insurance, I mean, it's not bad insurance. It does cover everything now. Don't have to pay for doctor's visits, prescriptions, lab work, diagnostics, nothing. Hospitalizations, nothing from here until the end of the year. But that deductible at the beginning of the year is just a killer, and now we can continue to save up. So come the beginning of 2019, we'll have it in the HSA. So it's if you're not familiar with the healthcare system here, dealing with that kind of stuff, it can really be stressful, and it can really be a hardship for people. But at least I've got it, dealt with now. So the other thing going on is housing, and we're still moving, and we're still moving to the house we were always going to be moving into, but there were just a lot of delays. At first there were some issues. The house had a tenant in it, and she didn't want to leave, and she dragged her heels. They finally got her out, and then Hurricane Harvey happened. And that threw everything back even farther. And then we think, okay, it's ready to get started on. It turns out there's a legal issue that has to be with the property, not on our end, on the property owner's end, that had to be addressed and dealt with. And it took a while to work that way, because it had to go to courts and things like that, and it took a while for that to get resolved, but it's resolved now, so they're free to start renovations on the property. So I haven't explained how we're doing this. We're buying a house from an investment company that buys houses, renovates them, and either turns around and rents them out to people or flips them and sells them. They bought the house we're living in now from my in-laws, and we turned around and started leasing it from them. So our family has worked with these people 2 times. They're very reputable. They're very honest. They're very ethical. We told them, look, we're wanting to buy a house. And they said, okay, we'll work with you. And, because of all the medical bills and stuff like that, we're on a little bit of a budget. And I would tell them, okay, this is what we have for a down payment. This is what we can afford every month. But we don't want, because we've got all this medical stuff going on, we don't want to buy as much of a house as we can afford. We want to stay below our means, if that makes sense. Which made the available houses, it cut down a lot of the available houses, because we wanted to keep our mortgage payment significantly lower than rent. And for a house, we wanted to keep our mortgage payment and all of the associated payments that are bundled with it cheaper than an apartment, or no more than an apartment. every month. And we finally, and we wanted it to be in a certain area. We wanted a certain size of a house. And they said, well, you know what? We find a place that's for sale. We'll buy it, you know, renovate it. You know, here's your budget. We'll buy it for less than your budget. Take a fair and reasonable profit. Use the rest of the money for the renovation budget. And then you'll turn around and buy it from us, which they do all the time. And we were like, yeah, that's how we're going to do it. And we found this house, and it couldn't have been more perfect. It's in our price range, even after all the renovations. Still, it'll make it about the same as renting an apartment. So, the size of house we wanted is right around 1,100 square feet. It's like 1,080 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's an older house. We wanted it out of the city, but not in a rural area. It's in a neighborhood. We wanted a house in a neighborhood. It's in a neighborhood between 2 towns. But the lots are really big and there's a lot of trees. So I've shown the video, you know, our new neighborhood. It's still that neighborhood. So it feels, it's a nice little neighborhood kind of out in the country. It feels a lot more in the country than it is. We needed it to be no farther of a commute for my husband than where he lives now, or where he, you know, from where we live now. And it's not, it's, you know, miles and time wise the same. We needed it to be closer to his family, his parents, and it's much closer to his parents. It's like, you know, where we live now is 2 hours from his parents. Where this house is like 45 minutes from his parents. We needed it to be closer at least, to his seasonal job, weekend job that he does in the fall. And it's a lot closer to it. So it's real close to it. So that worked out perfect. We wanted it to have a nice big lot. It's got like right around 3/4 of an acre of a lot. We wanted it to have trees. The front yard doesn't have any trees. It's a small front yard, the little house. The backyard is partially cleared. Half the backyard is cleared. And then the back end of the half yard has never been cleared. So there's pine trees, a lot of trees. It's a very narrow but deep lot. It's, like I said, it feels like it's a lot farther out in the country than it really is. It's within really reasonable distance to 2 good-sized cities. And it's only about an hour from Houston. And it's, you know, I'm 15 minutes from a hospital with a stroke center in case something happens to me. I'm not any farther from a big hospital living there than I am here. So it's, that's not an issue for us. So it worked out perfect. You know, this is the perfect house for us. It's just, are we willing to be patient while all the issues get worked out? And we were, and because it's just perfect. So I'd really wanted to have been moved before now. I didn't want to be moving in the heat of summer, but it looks like we're going to be moving the end of May, right at the beginning of June. So that's, it is what it is. I'd rather it be then than in September, you know. All the issues with the house have been resolved. The realtor with the investment company is meeting with the contractor, I think tomorrow, maybe? Sometime at the end of this week, beginning of next week, he's meeting with them, and they're going to go over all of the, you know, there's needs and wants in the renovation budget. They're going over all the needs. You know, the house is going to have, we're getting a new roof, we're getting new floors, we're getting new siding, we're getting new heating and air conditioner, we're getting new wiring, we're getting new appliances. We're getting all that stuff done. That's all the needs. And they're going to go ahead and work through the budget and schedule, you know, all the people to come in and do the work. all the subcontractors and stuff to come in and do the work for the needs. And then once they get an idea of what the budget is for the needs, they're going to call us in to go over the house with the contractor and discuss potential wants. Now, we have a list of wants a mile long, but based on all the work that's going to need to be done on this house, we're only going to be able to get a few wants, I think. And then the rest of the wants we're going to have to just do on our own over the years. My big 3 wants right now, I want a fence, I want a concrete driveway, or at least a really good gravel driveway, and I want the front and back porch rebuilt and covered. So I guess 4 wants. We'll just have to see what we get in the wants department. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of anxious because I've lived inside the city or in the suburbs my entire life, like 48 years of life, pretty much, and I've never lived outside of a major metropolitan area, for like close to 40 years of my life. I lived in one of the biggest cities in the United States, and when I say in one of the biggest cities, I mean inside the city limits, not the suburbs. So I've lived almost my entire life surrounded by literal millions of people. And where we're moving now is a neighborhood between 2 towns, smallish towns. And that's going to be real different. But I'm looking forward to it because I really want the peace and quiet. I want to be away. We live in a very industrial area right now. I need to get away from that. All the crap that I'm breathing in is contributing to the inflammation and just contributing to me not feeling well. I need the fresh air. I need the peace. I need the quiet. I just need a healthier, slower, standard of living for a while at this stage of my life. And I want to be closer to family. We have some good friends that live in that general area, like, the two towns. We have a really good friend of my husband's and his wife live just a few miles away. We have a friend that lives on the other side of the highway and down like a half a mile. My in-laws live like 45 minutes away. It's just going to be more opportunities there. So just to be around people I want to be around, and it's going to be nice. So, fun stuff. We're not really replacing everything. We can't. We don't have the budget to replace everything we own. We're taking most of our furniture, and we're taking, quite a bit of our decor. Like, it's an older house. It's a 1950s house, so it doesn't have a lot of huge... It's like a farm-style house, so it's like a wood-siding house. It doesn't have, big picture windows. So I can't take my curtain rods from all of our big windows here, but I can take my curtains. And I really didn't do a whole lot of decorating at this house. I just couldn't ever really get motivated to it. I decorated the bedroom, and that was really it. So I've been buying a lot of decorative things leading up to this move. Doing a lot of shopping at Ross, finding a lot of really cool stuff at Ross. What I'll do, I'll go to World Market and get my ideas there and go find stuff at Ross. I really like the kind of boho, eclectic decor, and that's what I've been accumulating. And I'll show you guys. I'm not going to do it now because it's all jumbled up together, but in my craft room, I have everything I've been buying for the new house just sitting on the futon. And once I pack up my craft stuff, I'm going to take all of my new stuff I've bought, lay it all out on the futon, make a list of everything I got, list of what I still need to get, and when I do that, I'll show you guys what I got for the house. So that's it, and everybody, cross your damn fingers that nothing else happens to delay this any farther, because I really want to be moved before the worst heat of summer. So that's it for now. I'm going to probably come back in a little bit and do another little video, but I've been talking for 20 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and end this now, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.